make money all around the world. I can make money all around the world. Yeah, I must say I feel sorry to say this. Been all around the world and still it's the same. What if I told you, somebody told me, Jones, and some haters don't wanna see you alive. Look at them like, what's new, my nigga, and replied, what did you expect with my chain like, yeah? Put them on wax and I'm their worst nightmare. I leave all my troubles on land when I take off in the lair. Yeah, y'all just looking at me now. What about the bean days when them checks was looking foul? Hands aching every day, even though I kept a smile. Could barely make beats, let alone give a pound to my soldiers in the hood without breaking down. Wow, that's some real right there. Don't know if I can bring the real back alone, I swear. Yes.
Absolute blur going from end to end. Johnny Flynn and the Minnesota Timberwolves go up against the Indiana Pacers and their stat-stuffing small forward, Danny Granger. Timberwolves, Pacers, up next.
The points. From this man in huge quantities. Here's Danny Granger on arrival. Contest here in Indianapolis. 2K Sports and the NBA welcomes you to our broadcast. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg. We get a look at the Pacers here. What does this team need to do to get on top?
I think they need another star next to Danny Granger, and they need the continued development of young players. Brandon Rush, Roy Hibbert, and certainly a good play at the point guard position would help also.
And checking out Minnesota's opening lineup. They've got Beasley, Johnson out there with Kevin Love. Then there's Luke Ridnour and Brewer. Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Kevin, I had a chance to talk with head coach Kurt Rambis. The thing to be aware of, he said, is that they're facing a team stocked with excellent shot blockers. So he's hoping to be able to open things up on the inside by having some early success shooting the basketball. Let's watch.
Thanks, Doris. Clark, so much for advanced scouting.
Sometimes that's a false prophecy, though, and you have to adjust to what the other team is coming out and running. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. You got to stop the layup there. Make him earn his points from the line.
First one falls for him. And Clark, to that point, they have a lot of guys that are solid role players.
So if they could get, Granger a little help, stay healthy, and see the continued development of a guy like Roy Hibbert, who I think is going to be a really solid offensive center throughout his career, the Pacers will have a chance to maybe sneak into the playoffs.
Ridnour against Collison. Jacks up the triple. Ridnour's shot is off. Well, Clark, it didn't get much publicity, but the other point guard for...
Boy, when you run the fast break correctly, it's a thing of beauty. Looks like they switched to man-to-man, D, here.
Behind the arc. And once again off the mark by Minnesota. And Indiana has possession.
Oh, man, now that's nasty.
Poked away. And stolen by Granger.
The lob was a little misjudged, and he couldn't get control of it.
George, he's guarded by Ridnour. Hansbrough misses. Minnesota off to a slow start. Still without a basket in the game. Granger against Beasley. Granger covering, and that one is good by Beasley. So it's Indiana now. They lead by 4.
In an effort to solidify the middle, they've changed to a 2-3 zone.
Pacers give up possession. Now the Timberwolves with it, trailing by 4. Granger covering, fires from 14, and that one is good by Beasley. Beasley's got his second bucket. Indiana leading. Collison, the pass to Granger. Here is Ridnour. 2:11 left in the first quarter. A mere 7 wins against the East for the Wolves last year, Clark.
And percentage-wise, Kevin, that was a lot better than how they fared against the West. Not saying a whole lot for their season overall, though.
A foul called, and he earns a trip to the line. First free throw is good. He's perfect from the line this time. And the Wolves in the East, really, it's just more of a matter of the Wolves developing, game to game and racking up some wins.
Yeah, that's what it takes. When you're a young team, just being able to consistently lock into the details of the game plan, then go out there and execute them, and then work through adversity within the game. It takes time for young teams to handle that.
The shot's good from Love. So it's Indiana now. Outside Collison. Inside to Hibbert. Laid in for 2 with the pretty feed there.
That's really a terrific look inside. Set him up beautifully.
Ridnour kicks to Beasley. Here's Love. Connects from in close. Pacers leading by 4. Well, the number 2 overall pick back in 2008 at Kansas State, Michael Beasley. Clark, a little trouble making the transition to the NBA.
Kevin, I'm really surprised by that, too, because he was a dominant scorer in college and a big-time rebounder, and he basically has kind of slowly gotten going in the NBA, and last season kind of ended with more of a whimper than a bang, and I wonder if he's lost some confidence as a result of that.
Let's go to our great sideline reporter, Doris Burke, for an update. Doris?
Hey, Kevin, the Wolves were bringing Kevin Love off the bench last season. He didn't seem to be happy about it, but said, it's not necessarily about starting. I just want to know what their plans are for me and what I mean to the team. I plan to work my tail off in the summer to prove to the organization what I can do. It sounds like he's taking the right attitude, guys, and you'll have to like his competitiveness.
Well, he's now starting. They seem to have handed him the keys. Thank you, Doris.
He knew exactly where the ball was going and got a hand on it.
Granger for the 3. And here is Johnson. It's tipped. First quarter over, and big numbers up on the board. Pacers lead by 4.
Yeah, they've done a great job of pressuring the ball and coming up with steals. It's hard to win if you can't.
Closely contested game here at the start of the second quarter. Timberwolves trail by 4. On the court for the Timberwolves as our second quarter is underway. We've got Kevin Love. Ridnour out there with Corey Brewer. Then there's Beasley. Well, Corey Brewer was drafted out of the University of Florida because, Clark, of his outstanding defense, but his offense And you would agree, I'm sure, has been a work in progress.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. I mean, I loved his versatility. I knew he could be a lockdown defender at this level, but I thought he would be better offensively sooner. But some of it has been the fact that he's not been able to maintain his balance in his shooting stroke, and as a result, the coaching staff has looked at that as an area that he needs to get better in, and as he's improved, so has his offense.
Ridnour, Granger covering. Beasley against Hibbert. Hibbert with the block. Pacers leading by 4. And Clark for Minnesota, a dismal road record for this team a season ago.
Yeah, you can't describe 5 road wins any differently than that, Kevin. Most years, if you have a record that poor, you end up with a very nice lottery pick.
And back to the Wolves' road struggles. What was the cause of their issues, you think?
Well, we've talked about it a number of times before. Youth. It's hard for inexperienced teams, even when they're talented, to understand. Good. Wow. Fantastic pass for the alley-oop. You got to love that action.
Looks like they've worked on that one before, Clark.
Yeah, they've done it countless times.
Here's Beasley, kept alive. Oh, offensive interference. Knocked loose. Here's Hibbert. The shot is off. And Minnesota the other way now. Beasley, the pass to Johnson. Beasley. Love kicks to Johnson. Leads him in. Here's Beasley. Darren Collison pulls it in.
He's had some problems finding the range here in this quarter.
Hibbert with it.
Good heads-up play to deflect that pass. That's why you stay active on defense with your hands. Make them use that clock.
Timberwolves on D. Only giving up 2 points this quarter. Here's Collison.
Their field goal percentages dropped down below 34% for the game. They've still held on to the lead. They need to find a way to turn that shooting percentage around.
Love kicks to Johnson. Three-pointer, Ridnour. The Timberwolves again can't hit. Pacers leading by 4. Now Hansbrough. Granger right side. Outside Collison. Shot clock at 5. And Minnesota has possession. 4-point game. Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Kevin, the salary cap and its mathematics can result in some interesting trades. And this season we saw the Miami Heat trade away Michael Beasley, the number 2 overall pick in the 2008 draft, to the Timberwolves for just a second-round pick. The Heat needed to clear cap space, so the Wolves ended up with a tremendous young talent, almost for free. Beasley's focus on the floor has come into question, but nevertheless, he's still young with a tremendous amount of potential. Can he live up to that potential is the question, guys.
Let's hope so. Thanks, Doris.
Boy, these guys have a terrific feel for each other. You have to in order to make plays like that.
Don't you think you can tell that they love being on the court together?
Boy, they have. Great D leads to easy offense.
So the Timberwolves called their first timeout. Here is Ridnour. No points for him. 1:37 left in the second. And for the Pacers, a 32-50 record overall last season, number 10 in the Eastern Conference.
Not what they expected, Kevin, but at home, the Pacers did end up 23-18.
Just 4 to shoot. Beasley kicks to Ridnour. Johnson to stop the drought.
Good defensive footwork shut down his path to the basket.
Here is Ridnour. From deep.
Well, you have to like how this defense is playing here in the first half. I mean, off to a very good, focused, intense start. They're really playing with a lot of energy, and that's what defense is. It's energy, it's focus, and it's intensity.
Timberwolves trail by 8. Here's Brewer. Another miss by Minnesota. And Clark, home court advantage really can be a huge boost to a team, can it?
And you find it being the case more with younger teams, Kevin, because it really does give a team like that a burst of energy. But for any team, it helps.
The 3. Johnson, good. Johnson's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. To the inside. Deflected. Collison against Ridnour. Love. Granger covering. Got the bucket and the foul. Great shot. He'll go to the line for one more. So the Pacers call timeout, their first of the game. He can't complete the three-point play.
Both teams really matching up well on the board. We've got ourselves a pretty good game here, Kevin.
Here's Oh!
When he gets it going like this, you've got to double team it. That's your only hope.
And he completes the three-point play.
Sometimes teams have a tendency to be content and not press the action. I think we're seeing a little bit of that from them right now. They haven't been to the line as much as before, and I think that's the reason why. They've backed off a little bit. Because they're behind, they feel a little pressure to start jacking up three-point shots, and it's led to more attempts from behind the arc.
Good if it goes. Can't get it to go. That'll do it for the first half. It's the Pacers leading by...
And we got a battle in the Circle City. Now let's get going with our HP halftime show. The Pacers have been rolling along. Close range.
And as the quarter begins, both teams have been trading blows like prize fighters. A close ball game. Here is Ridnour, still looking to get on the scoreboard. Danny Granger and Tyler Hansbrough make up the forwards. Then it's Roy Hibbert, and there's Collison. That's the Pacers' 5. Johnson can't get it to go. Wesley Johnson started his college career at Iowa State, then made the jump to Syracuse.
Yeah, and he really blew up there. I talked about him the year he sat out, but he was a big reason that the Orange had the success they did because he was a go-to guy at both ends of the floor.
Here's George. No good. Now the Timberwolves will take it the other way. Ridnour passes to Johnson. It's taken away by Collison. It's one-on-one. George. Rob. Timberwolves trail by 3. Ridnour with it. And here's Beasley. Here's Johnson. No good. That would have tied it.
He just hasn't been able to get on track in this game. Not like he would like to. He's a much better shooter than he's shown.
To the middle. Hands. Oh!
Nice fundamental basketball. Get that screen in place solidly and then take it to the rim.
Show a little patience, then zoom right in. Here's George. Brewer corrals the miss inside. George gets the whistle for blocking. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Well, it can be awfully hard to stay in front of guys at this level. He tried his best, but still got hit with the foul.
Here's Beasley. He's got 6. Three-pointer, Ridnour.
This is one of the key reasons why they're losing. You have to get more production out of your core star player.
Beasley hits the reach-in call. That'll be his second foul of the game. So it's Indiana now. They haven't given up any points here in the second half.
When he goes up, sometimes you think he might never come down.
Well, it won't be the last time we see one of those slams from him. Another miss by Minnesota.
Well, this is just a putrid start here in the third.
Granger from outside, and that one's good. Granger's got his first 3 points of the game.
For a player of his skill, it's going to take a lot better defense than that.
Here's Johnson. Another miss by Minnesota.
Decent look there, but not for him. He's been struggling all game long.
Back to Collison. Knocks it loose. It's taken away by Brewer to stop the run. And once again off the mark by Minnesota. On offense, here are the Pacers. It's a 10-point game. George, covered by Brewer. Here's George. The rebound by Kevin Love.
You can't D up a layup any better than that. Nice work.
Here's Johnson. The three won't fall.
I think he's really starting to lose confidence in his shot. Those misses are getting to him.
Ridnour is tagged with the reach. That's his third foul of the game. Timberwolves on D. Searching for that first bucket here in the third. Kept alive. The Pacers give up possession.
The line's there for a reason, young fella. Stay in the game.
Now the Timberwolves with it, trailing by 10. From deep three-point range, rebounded by Granger.
You know, even though that one didn't fall, it isn't terribly out of his range. He can hit from that far on occasion.
Here's George, blocked.
He hasn't been able to contribute as well as he wanted to. But in spite of that, they still have the lead, and that's a good sign.
Three-pointer, Ridnour. George snatches it inside. And so it's going to be a 3-second violation out there on the defense. Here's Hibbert. 11-point game. Stolen away.
Well, they still have the lead, but they really need to collect themselves and start taking care of the ball.
Beasley kicks it to Ridnour. Back to Beasley. To end the drought. The Timberwolves again can't hit.
When you settle for that kind of shot, that's a wasted possession. That is not a high percentage look.
About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. And here's Hibbert. Guarded now by Kevin Love. A second left. It falls short. He played through 3 in the double-digit game going on here. Back in a moment from Indianapolis. And the final period of play just about to start. Here's Collison. And so in the game for the Timberwolves, Beasley out there with Johnson. Then it's Corey Brewer. Then there's Kevin Love and Ridnour. And he drops it in on the layup. 19 points in the game.
He's been extremely active out there, and he has the stats to prove it. Terrific hustle.
Great anticipation.
Boy, he's having some trouble with the ball right now after a pretty clean and sharp first half where he coughed it up just once, Kevin.
Here's Johnson. Drains it from downtown. He's shooting 33% from deep. We've seen them with a lot of good ball movement.
That's exactly the way to play. The fans love it. It's fun for the players. I love it. And more importantly, it's tough to defend.
Pass to Granger. Puts the hammer down. Here is Ridnour. Johnson outside. Let's go with the three. That's good. And it's Ridnour picking up the assist.
He's been hurting them out there, Kevin, and I'm still waiting for the defense to make the adjustment to stay there on it.
Hinsbrough. And good off the glass as he lays it in. And the Pacers lead by 11. Picked up by Collison. All alone. The shot by Johnson, no good. Here is Hinsbrough. Hibbert with the screen. 5 to shoot. 4 on the clock. And he makes it look so easy, laying it right in.
Well, you can see the extra pep in their step here in the second half. I mean, it's obvious. And that extra energy may be the difference in winning and losing.
Here's George. And there are the Pacers with another bucket.
Their game plan is to push the break. And it sure has worked so far. They're running circles around the defense.
Back to Love. Ridnour, he's covered by Collison. Love can't hit.
And I really like the way they've controlled the paint here in this ball game.
George, covered by Beasley. Here's George. No good. And Minnesota the other way now. Here's Johnson. Hits the quick shot. Here is Collison. 2:24 left in the fourth. He dumps it off. George, covered by Brewer. Just 4 to shoot. Indiana needs to get a shot off.
And you know, he's really struggled this game holding on to the basketball.
From the wing, Danny Granger pulls it in. So it's Indiana now. Granger, right side. Here is Hinsbrough. Here's George. And the Pacers can't get it to go. Beasley with it. From deep. Hinsbrough gets the board inside. Here's Indiana now. 13-point lead. Beasley is whistled for reaching in. And that'll be his third foul so far. Wayne Ellington's checked in for Minnesota.
Oh, no. Not the guy you want to put on the line, Kevin. He's an ATM from the free throw line.
The first one falls. He hits both from the stripe. Here's Ridnour. 1:14 left in the game. From downtown. Got a piece of it. It stays here. Indiana turns it over. We'll go the other way. Here comes Granger. Hinsbrough with the ball. From deep. Ridnour yanks down the defensive rebound. Picked up by Collison. The tray. Ridnour's shot is off.
He's been AWOL this quarter. When his team is down and in need of some scoring from him, he hasn't shown up.
Now Hansbrough. Shoots a three. Ridnour snatches it inside.
The mind boggles trying to figure that shot out. Plays like that will turn his teammates against him in a hurry.
There's a 4-second difference from the shot clock to the game clock. Down to 5 on the shot clock. The Timberwolves need to get a shot off here. And once again off the mark by Minnesota.
You have to question his shot selection, Kevin. Poor shot equal bricks and misses.
So no problem for Indiana as they get the win. And this one was such a lopsided victory.
They never let up. They were full throttle from the start.
Well, that'll do it for us. For Clark Kellogg and Doris Burke, Kevin Harlan saying so long. And as we end the game, we bring you our Jordan Brand Player of the Game.
Good.